This is Sheila with Conscious Conversation Central, and today is Wednesday, January the 3rd, 2018, and I'm with BZ and Lisa again, and I am so glad you guys are here. We did it again, though. We started talking and didn't hit record.
But it was really good. Too bad you missed it.
Yeah, I know, right?
We had some really good tools and stuff.
But wait, there's more.
Yes, really. I would love for you to explain,
recap,
re-explain for everyone what you just shared with us in regards to the IUV and how, because I'm fairly new to the IUV myself. I mean, okay. and I love what you were saying. So if you don't mind, would you?
Sure. We can. We'll do that. We'll make this just a really short video, and for those who are interested in the IUV or thinking about maybe going to look at it,
that'd be great.
Good. I'm just gonna move some of this stuff out of the way. So, if you get seasick, just hold on to your chair because I'm gonna move you.
Here we go.
Okay, so you have to tell me what you can see because I'm not looking at the camera on the laptop. So anyways, that's the IUV. If you see where my mouse is, those names highlight up.
Yes.
Right.
That's the top navigation, right? And so you can see, if you want to go back, you can see, well, of course my mouse isn't listening, but you can see different things. If you want to find out stuff about OPPT, you go down here, you'll see all of these things open for you, the different windows. And this last one is the initial investigation, and then you just slide your mouse over.
Talking to my dad about that. Yeah, I wanted to direct people to that specifically, so thank you.
Yeah. And then when you're on a particular section, like it has the IUV blog and the gold meditations, that stays lit up. And depending on what browser you use and what generation of tech you're running, it'll view in different ways for different people. But anyways, the removing the veil section is particularly helpful for people who are just waking up if they want to go look at something because they don't believe in it. Those are really written in a way that's a little more constrictive for them to look at that. But anyways, the reason that we got on talking about this was that Lisa and Sheila, you were both saying how, it's hard to keep up because there's so much stuff. And I've said this on other videos before, but when information comes to me, this right now is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 22 tabs open in this browser. And the information, I do go looking for some stuff. People send me stuff, but literally these tabs will open and stuff gets sent to me through energy, or I better, maybe more aptly put, I call it in and it's right there. And sometimes they'll disappear because another dot comes forward that's, more helpful. I don't know if you can see that, more helpful to use. But one of the points I was trying to make is that oftentimes the way, my intention, the way I set it up is just looking at the picture and reading the, the titles is often a good way to then call in your iTech and ask it to your discernment meter and your resonance meter, however you want to call them, that's what I call them. And to connect those dots that are coming forward. And when you do that, then you can see, because there are segments where there's usually definitely 2 or 3, usually 3 or 6, where they all go together and they're painting a picture. And then if you scroll down to the bottom here, you can see there's a next word, which takes you, because the blog, all the stuff that's older than what these dates were, which was yesterday, last night, to the one before. And so you just click next and it does the same thing. There's only 9 to a page. But oftentimes for you, when you do that and you get in the habit and work up your muscle for that, then one will kind of light up for you. It's changing now because I'm mousing over it, but you can actually get it where your energy read of it will highlight it for you, and you go, okay, I'm I'm being guided to read that particular one because there's a nugget in there, there's a dot in there, which will then help me move to another expansion point to go look at something else. So that's, you know, I'm happy to have people read the whole things, but my intention when I created and when what goes where and how it goes up, that's part of what I'm guided to do as far as laying that out. And then you can also go on the right-hand side navigation here, and these are these are different categories that things are filed under. The removing the veil, these are the more of the linear, the history of banking and all of the slavery system and stuff is all under there.
And I wanted to thank you for pulling that particular or pointing that particular thing out, because part of what my whole thing has been about for me is understanding all of this kind of thing, comprehending all of it. And for those of us that are, you know, coming in contact with family members or anyone else actually that is just waking up, to have a good linear place that has good information to send them.
Yes.
So thank you for pointing that out specifically for us.
Yeah, the whole site itself, the portal itself, has many thousands of pages on it, many hundreds of thousands, well, certainly many hundreds, it probably is in the thousands of hours of audio. All of the, just to go back to the other things as well, but to go back to the OPPT and stuff, there are hundreds of hours of audio, conversations with Heather and detailed information, and there are transcripts of most of it, pretty much all of it, and those transcripts are in many, many languages in addition to English.
Great. And those are transcripts of videos and transcripts of all the court documents and everything for transparency's sake, right?
And then on should be on everybody. See up here, you'll see there's a button that says translate, and this whole site is designed and set up that you can click that and then choose whatever language in the world, and I'm pretty sure Google does all of them. You can translate the entire site like that.
Awesome.
To the language that you want.
That's cool.
Awesome. And you can do it on any mobile device because it's also built to do that.
Wow.
So,
okay.
anyways, that's and it's got super iron or super whatever structure behind it so that it can withstand not only the traffic, but it can withstand all of the shenanigans that are beamed at it, aimed at it, perpetrated upon it every day with a whole tech team behind to keep it live.
Okay.
So, but also, and then there's different rooms in it. So that was just the blog that you're looking at, but there's different rooms in it that talk about the IUV portal. This is more of the original part. This takes you back. This is a public notice board and all that kind of stuff. This deals from the beginning when the documents, the filings were being made public. So you can see this is kind of the beginnings of those kinds of things. And I just didn't update this, it let it stay here so it's a snapshot in time when things got rolling, because that's the other intention, my intention behind this is that, well, any website, any blog, anything like that is an energetic representation of who you are. And since this is a portal, it's kind of a portal that you can flow in linear speak backwards and forwards in time and through all that energetic resonance that's occurred. When you go on the IUV, you can actually kind of time travel, as it were, energetically travel as well to what was happening. And that's the way it's set up. And so that when people are just waking up, or as things really unfold here and get rolling out and are public, they can say, well, I never knew about this. Well, actually they can, because they can scroll through, even if they just stayed with the blog, it's all been documented. So there is no all of a sudden, I didn't know this. Whereas you can actually say, well, yeah, on this date there was this, and on this date there was that, and this was on this site or this publication or what, and those dots, so they can see in, I'm not sure the right term, in retrospect, in hindsight, they can, in the rear view mirror, look that these things were all hidden in plain sight for them all along. And they just never let their eyes and their ears hear and see. So that, anyways, that's the intention behind it. That's the way it's laid out. And that's, why I spend many hours every day, every week on it to do that. So that it is, it's a portal in the sense that it's connected to the Akash records in a linear standpoint that has all that and can bring it forward, because that helps people who, whatever perception they hold of awake or not awake, it helps them. They can see that it's actually all there and documented. And because it's not done in a linear way, it's done in an energetic, frequency vibrational way, and they're all different energy, frequency, vibrations there. When you go in, you go into the big envelope that is the portal. So you step in and step through the portal to where you want to travel, not only on this planet, but others. But you can then experience the energy from that or read the signals of it. So you really can let your discernment meter and your resonance meter, because you are the expert. The site is not the expert. I'm not the expert. Each you is the expert for yourself.
Right.
And so you can then see how that fits in with the energy, predominant energy, frequency, vibration that you hold at that moment, and then where to move. So you're navigating and driving the ship, the light ship, the energy ship, that is, in this context, the metaphor that's called the IUV.
Okay, and I did have, now, and I know that this is also somewhere on the IUV, but again, I haven't found it yet. And if you don't mind, I would love for you, because we were going to make this one a little bit shorter, but I would be remiss if I didn't ask the question, how did the name IUV come about and what does it represent? It's my understanding that it's something specific.
Oh yeah, that was asked by a grand jurist that was on the ball in the purported grand jury, which was very entertaining, in Tennessee on the case. So if you go here to the IUV, which this just recently changed to the header because that was something that came out. But always at the bottom, when you scroll down, the bottom is the earliest. So down here is the earliest and then up. So that's why that is at the top. But if you go to IUV, and this tells you a little bit about the portal as it relates to the UCC. But if you go to the second one, and you go to the I and the UV exchange, and these were filings that were on March, can you see that? Sorry. Okay, hang on, don't get seasick. March 24th of 2013. So these are actually filings, and you scroll down, that's where that symbol comes from. That is the I, which is the I. That's why it's I am power, as in I am possible. So you'll notice when I'm, as the editor on the blog, you'll see that's I am power. But anyways, if you read these documents right here, they're very powerful anyways. They're all up here is all, as with everything else, it's all clickable, and you can then download it. So you have a copy on your hard drive, print it out, read them out loud. But anyways, it tells you exactly what that is. It gives you the information from a linear ink on paper perspective and from an energetic perspective, and lays it all out for you. So if you haven't already, and there's a bunch of different things there, but if you haven't already read that, those are very valuable, and that tells you exactly what it comes from. Okay. So the site well, not this site, but when the documents were first being released and Heather was getting them out to Brian, and then Lisa on the, which was the Conscious
Conversation Network?
Yeah.
No, that was Conscious
No,
Consumer Network.
No, it was something else. But anyway, she had the radio show on that, and then it turned into the One People show, and then it was OPPT as an opt-in or opt-out of the system. Anyway, so there was a website for a short span that was OPPT that Lisa Harrison had started, and then gave to me and asked for me to take over. But as we were then jumping of closing the old and everything coming out, I and we all decided to go to the next, which was the IUV, which is the universal value, which is all of us. So the unfolding.
Okay.
So
okay.
Much the same way that the EO, basically ended the world as we know it or thought we knew it on the 21st, and it's a new thing, even though people haven't caught up to it yet. This was the same kind of thing. So, but this was designed to actually move forward because it's a portal. It really is not just from the linear construct of what a web portal is and all of those things and what it means from a logistics and infrastructure basis, but an energetic thing. It actually lets you time travel and jump, and it keeps expanding. One other thing, you can see an example of that. If you go to down here under the media news, these are the radio shows, show transcripts, radio interviews, all that kind of stuff. But Nova Earth News, Holly did that, and when she was playing with me, and again, that is bringing you stories of all sorts of things, coming forward. So that hasn't been updated in a while, but there's a lot of good content there to go forward.
Well, thank you for that, BZ.
Yeah, so I think we should close that window there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I really appreciate that, because I feel like there's going to be a whole lot of new folks that are going to be taking the tour around the IUV very soon. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a link to the IUV in the body of this video, of course. And thank you both for being here and doing this with me. And be sure to like, subscribe, and comment, because I love that. Till next time.